Greetings, come on in, hang in there. Welcome to day 6. Welcome to day 6. Welcome to day 6. Bear with me. I'm going to give y'all some time to get in here. But welcome to day 6 of self-love. We're going to do something a little bit different. But this is dedicated to day 6 of self-love practice. Self-love, self-compassion practice, which is important. On this ascension journey, it's important. When we're doing all this clearing and cutting and changing in our lives, it can be very easy to become distracted. In fact, karmics, narcissists, dark witches, and warlocks do everything that they can to hopefully keep you distracted from doing just that. Okay? So I'm going to share some more self-care, self-love tips. And then possibly I'm just going to end in some like affirming, positive, high vibrational affirmations that though it's basic and it's simple, we need it. We often get sidetracked. I mean, it's common to do so, especially when you've been dealing with a lot. I'll just say it that way. And so they prefer that you get caught up in the war. And then hopefully you forgot the part where you're supposed to be loving and caring on yourself and pouring in loving light energy, positive energies, and doing things DIY. I'll call it DIY, do it yourself. Okay? So I'm going to share some do it yourself, self-love, self-care tips and hacks. I'm sure most of you guys know about some of this stuff, but for those of you who don't know, I'm going to encourage you. This is a part of due diligence, right? I forget how that saying goes. If you give a man a fish, you'll give him some snacks, bitch. Or if you teach him to fish, he'll learn how to fish, bitch. Or some shit like that. I'm totally botching it up. But essentially, the things that I've learned for myself, I'm sharing it in a way with you all so you all can run with it in the same way so you feel what? Empowered. Do it yourself, return to sender. Do it yourself, removing of black magic and return to sender. Okay. Beyond the words, okay? So I invite you all to Google this, okay? Because whatever you're feeling pulled and guided to in a higher vibrational way may be something that's going to work for you where you're at. But I recommend the do-it-yourselves that does not require a lot of money. I recommend looking into some that are very simple and basic, which does not take away from its power. Okay? Something very simple and basic, and things that you can get in your kitchen, you can use in the kitchen, or that you can easily get at the grocery store with your standard grocery shopping list. Okay? Because first and foremost, you're not going to be breaking your wallet, okay? And you may not be in the place to do so. And it just keeps things simple in a time where you need things to be simple, okay? Maybe down the line it can be evasive with like 12 or 13 different ingredients, this bitch. But right now, it needs to be basic, okay? So Google do-it-yourself, return to sender dark magic, okay? And then what comes up, what you're drawn to, make this to be a part of your self-love and self-care, okay? Because if you've been under severe attack, this, though it did not have, listen to me, it may not have had the full and totality effect that it was meant to, right? That it was meant to, but it did have an effect, okay? So what you want to do is be loving on yourself. This is a part of loving on yourself, okay? Taking matters into your own hands, empowering yourself, not waiting for a savior out of the sky or a master, a teacher, anybody that you got to get $500 to do some shit that may not even work, bitch, because it just depends. Okay? So this is empowering yourself right where you're at. That's number one thing I want to mention today. Self-love, self-care. If you know that you have been under severe dark magic, rituals, hexes, vexes, all of that weird nigga bitch shit, okay? Google that, especially we're 2 days pre full moon eclipse. I want to say it's, I can't be quoted. I got to look into it. It's either in Scorpio, Taurus or Scorpio, but I got to look into it. And so right now we may be a little tender. It's said that with this full moon, some of us may be feeling, because scorpionic energy is it's all about transformation, is usually very heavy. So it's said that some of us may be very sensitive right now, very emotional. Could be feeling sad. It could be, a lot of things coming up. And so we're guided to take care of ourselves during this time, not to feel bad about it, not to beat yourself up like, oh, I shouldn't, I shouldn't feel sad. No, honor whatever's coming up. Just don't allow yourself to regress or go back into any old patterns during that time. But, honor and self-love as much as you can during this time. Also, the night before, I want to say it's on November the 8th. So November the 7th, it's recommended that if you're guided, if this is a way that's therapeutic for you, just the night before you go to bed, kind of journal, things that you're feeling, things that you're experiencing, what you want to release, like just sit with that, setting some intentions like prior, okay? This is also self-love, okay? Because we're trying to clear deeply, not just the external. We're trying to clear deeply, right? So, number one, DIY, return to sender, dark magic. Whatever you feel guided to do, but try to focus on something basic and simple and quick that you can do in a snap, okay? That you can do for your children, that you can do, you know what I'm saying? Let that be the focus, and maybe do that particular ritual as guided. If you're feeling guided to do it once a day, if you're not, you're just guided to do it when you kind of feel the density, but incorporate that in your self-love, okay? And then monitor. What I like to do when I'm doing things like that, I always do test. I like to test everything. I'll monitor it. I'm like, I want to see if this shit, bitch. Let me see how it is if I don't do this, boom. Let me see, woo-de boo, right? So be observant on purpose so you can start learning how to gauge energy. This is a part of your own development. This was effective. Okay, this was effective in this way. I noticed these subtle changes when I utilize Okay. Also, a part of daily self-love and self-care practice, I recommend either, as you're guided, but either right before you go to bed, calling back your energy, okay, and power and soul fragments. And this has nothing to do with necessarily things being bad per se, but we intertwine with the world, okay? People are in different spaces and places and are dealing with different kinds of energies, okay? And not everybody is awoke, and even those that are, they could be dealing with certain things, environments. So a self-love, self-care practice could be something like you can call it the collective human consciousness, the universal collective, sending via your divine right to send, returning people's energies, their soul fragments, okay, their thoughts, their emotions, their free, because we're around this stuff, okay, sending it back to them. I do it by the violet fire. I like to work with the violet fire in that way, but you can say it however you're feeling guided. And then say, I call all of my energy and power and soul fragments back to me from the universal collective, from the human collective, from the collective conscious, or, from whatever, the local collective, whoever you've been around that day, however you want to verbalize it. But it don't have to be deep, y'all. It don't have to be long. It don't have to be 30 minutes. It's not about that. It's about being in the moment, present, and intentional, okay, with what you're doing. So this is another way of recollecting yourself, You know what I'm saying? And another way of sending back all the stuff that you've been around as self-love, self-care practice, okay? So far we have number 1, do it yourself, return to sender dark magic. Google it. And especially right now, since we've closed out some karmic cycles, I want to put an asterisk point on this one because dark witches and warlocks, haters and naysayers, narcissists, you know who they are in your life, lunatics, you know what I'm saying? They don't just shake your hand and bow out gracefully. Oh, thank you for playing. You know, they're still up to fuckery, okay? Because they have to self-destruct. That's their path. They self-destruct. They roll and do the fuckery in their lives until, you know what I'm saying, they expire. So you have to do your part for you. Do it yourself for you. Like, okay. And something quick and easy so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay. Number 2, like I said, where was I at? Number 2 was soul retrieval, basically sending people's energies back to them before you go to bed, calling your energy back to you. Okay. Then number 3 is going to be more about affirmative. Okay, so it's easy for us to get caught up in doing the returning to sender and the, you know, sending people their energies back and calling our energies back. But then now the part about ask your team to show you something to say and feel into it, loving and kind about yourself. It can be one mantra. It doesn't have to be 6, 10, 12 things. It could just be one thing in the name of self-love and self-compassion that you say, and then try to sit with feeling it. You know, and if you're not quite feeling it yet, asking your team, okay, how to kind of like verbalize it. I am adaptable improvement. I am adjusting, like whatever it is for you. Okay, in terms of loving, kind things. Okay, this is not spiritual bypassing. It's just redirecting, focus on loving you. We spend a lot of the time being focused outward and trying to love in that way, but loving you right where you're at, which is not selfish. We're not talking about vanity. We're not talking about egotism and self-centeredness of extreme narcissism. We're just simply talking about, okay, you're doing the best you can. It could be anything like that. It's okay to not be okay. You're going to be okay and you're on your way. You're becoming the best version of yourself more and more day by day. Like it could be simple things like that. You're good enough right where you're at. You're loved. You deserve love. It can be the famous I am loved, loved, loving. Okay, since we've been doing that. Okay. And then you can play with verbiage around that statement to hack your own mind. Okay. So, I wonder what it feels like to feel love, to feel loved, to feel loving, to feel lovable. How am I loved, loving, lovable, self-compassion? I am adaptable improvement with loving myself day by day. I am adaptable improvement with feeling loved, loving, lovable, loving, worthy, deserving. Like simple things. I'm just throwing all that out there as a self-love, self-care, self-compassion, basic, easy tip. Consistency is the key. It doesn't have to always be super sophisticated, big and long, and a big pow, pang, boom. But it needs to be something that's with conviction. You're feeling guided. You're fully present. Okay. And this is going to be building self-love, which is the foundation. It's the foundation. It's why abusive relationships and narcissistic abuse is so detrimental, because it pulls you away from that. You become a manager of trying to manage abusers. Let's try so they ain't having no exploded fit today, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Let me not say this because they going to flip the fuck out, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Let me appease them if I don't give it. It becomes a life of trying to manage mental patients, basically. Okay? So when you are pulling yourself from that, that love needs to be poured back into you now, because again, your adrenal system took a hit, your nervous system took a hit, okay? And all of these things they used and still use to attempt to crazy make you and to attempt to smear campaign you. And unfortunately, collective, those that are asleep and not in the know fall right for these traps. So one of the short videos that I've shared here, she talks about like releasing that, because that's a part of it. That's going to be what's going to be. But take back your power and your energy. And those that you're co-creating and manifesting in your world moving forward will know. Okay? You won't be happening to try to prove to them that the motherfucker was crazy, bitch, and they a narcissist, bitch. Like, you won't have to be going through all of that. Okay? Because people that's caught in, like she said, they employ flying monkeys and all sorts of people to do their bidding. It's the truth. Okay? They surround themselves with those types of people. And unfortunately, these people usually take some kind of fall in life that they don't even see coming either. But that's their lot. That's their lot to deal with as well. Okay? So, for you, beautiful souls, you know, I want to encourage you in the name of self-love. You know what you've experienced and what you've gone through. Okay? Now it's time for you to take care of you. You've spent years trying to fit in and trying to manage adults, children in adults' bodies. And it's done nothing but take away from you. Now it's time for you to call it all back, your energy, your power, and to send them all the shit that these people have tried to dump onto you. Because that's what narcissists do. They project and attempt to swap and switch and dump their junk onto their target. Okay? So I hope these little tips help. Yeah, just make it simple. Keep it simple, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay? Keep it simple. Okay? Another thing, if you are into tarot and you're like watching readings and stuff like that, I want to recommend setting intention, asking your team to help you minimize. Okay? Because it's addictive. And, you know, it can be addictive to go from one reading to the next. And it's like, okay, that can further confuse and convolute your energy as well, because, you know, every reader has a different energy. Not everything is going to actually be your story. And then you're just going to be sitting there. You're tied in a knot even more than you were before you listened to all the readings, bitch. So you want to ask for help with that and ask for redirection. Like, okay, one reading a day. Okay, what, 2 readings? Like, set some type of goal and then ask for help with, okay, now how do I redirect my time and energy and focus in the name of self-love? What is going to get me in the energy in this now? What is going to help me to get present? What is going to help me to feel good in the now? What is going to bring back the element of life and hope? What is in this now moment, in the name of practicing self-love and care, in the name of reclaiming my power, taking it back from narcissists, taking it back, dark witches and warlocks, taking it back, you know what I'm saying, from haters and naysayers and all of that. And you'll see, even if this is like 5-10 minutes a day, I promise y'all, then you'll slowly start to, you know what I mean? So let's recap. Self-love, self-care, number 1, DIY. Do it yourself. Google return to sender, dark magic rituals. Set intentions to select one that is very basic, easy to do, and simple, and that you can use ingredients you can use that you have in your cupboard. Okay, to start with. Number 2, soul retrieval as a daily practice. At the end of the day, sending everyone's energies back to them, whether this be coworkers, bosses, clients, social media. You can even do it in terms of social media. All right. TikTok collective. I send all of the TikTok collective, the YouTube collective, whatever your perspective places are, social media energy. Okay. I send every viewer, follower, and subscriber energies, their soul fragments back to them. I call back my energy and power back to me from them. Then I erect healthy frame, healthy boundaries, buffers, and shields. Okay. And what was the third one? Number 3 is loving words. Okay. Creating a basic mantra, playing with it to hack your subconscious, but something that you say to yourself, however you're guided, whether it's right as you go to bed, in the morning, both. But write it down. Write it down. This will help solidify it, grounding it into the earth. And it can be anything. As long as it's in the present, it's in the now, it's loving and affirming to you. Okay? And then, what else? What was the last thing I said here? Okay, yeah, I think that was kind of it. And I was just reiterating it different ways, okay? And daily, doing this daily. This is a part of loving you. Okay, this is a part of reclaiming your power, which is what we need, okay, to build healthy foundation moving forward, or else what we'll find is, we still don't move forward, or we still just keep recreating the same shit. We stay asleep, we stay distracted, stagnated. So we want to be proactive in that way. Okay? It's something I wanted to say, and it's like it slipped my mind, and maybe it's not important. There it is. Thank you, Light Team. So the other thing was about tarot and stuff, like, minimizing the things that we're constantly listening to, becoming mindful of what we're listening to constantly, like setting some type of an intention to minimize that and ask to be divinely guided with readings. Okay. And then refocusing on other things that could feed more loving and positive things into your soul. Okay, which is a part of it all. We want to reinforce this more. Okay, and I know the trauma bonding and the things that we have gone through. Being a survivor, a thriver of narcissistic abuse myself, I get, okay, why it's like that for a while. Okay, but a part of recovering is figuring out creative ways to pour back into yourself, because you've been depleted the entire time. Okay. Something I feel like it's something I'm missing, and I bet as soon as I click in the live, bitch is gonna come to me. Self-love, self-care. Oh, okay. All right. So with that being said, for those of you who are also subscribers to my YouTube, if ever you've actually gone to my homepage over there, because a lot of people don't, most of the time folks don't really go to folks' homepage and shit, bitch, right? But if any of you have ever actually subscribed or went to visit my actual homepage, if you pay close attention or look close up at the top part of the screen, where, it's just like this leopard energy, bitch, which is one of my energies, bitch. It's leopard, cheetah, bitch. It's one of them animals. But anyway, I digress. If you look close, it says something. There's a mantra to bloom from within love, basically. Okay. So on the top, it says something like, I am beautiful, or we are beautiful, blissful, bountiful, blooming. Okay, but you have to pay attention. It's up there. Okay, that's a mantra. Okay, and those types of things. Okay, you can say how, be unique and creative. It don't have to be that bitch, but that just so happened to be the mantra for Bloom from Within Love, and those that I say are high vibe Bloomy tribe. Okay, we are affirming that, and again, play with the verbiage, play with it to hack the subconscious, to hack the mind. Right? I am adaptable improvement. I am adjusting to the knowing of my beauty, bliss, bountifulness, right? I am adaptable improvement. I am growing into, I am, how does it feel? How does it feel to feel beautiful, blissful, bountiful, blooming, right? Stuff like that, because we have a lot of negative self-talk, right, already, from the mistakes we've made, from the cycles we were in, from shit we regret, bitch, from, the society, from narcissists, from one motherfucker, I'm saying, after the next. And so it's like we need to put that loving energy into us. People trying to typecast you, pigeonhole you, bitch, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got something to say, and this is going to be so fun to watch this shit play out. But again, I digress. Pouring that loving energy back. It doesn't mean that we don't self-improve, you all. It doesn't mean that we don't have room for expansion, but this is a part of it, though. In a loving way, and accepting where one is at. Because otherwise, I promise you, the shit show, it never ends. And it's designed that way, to keep people panting and clawing for unattainable, insatiable realities. It's like, no, today, right now. Now let's do it. I'm going to use all the pronouns, bitch. Okay? So let's... Ooh, let me change this, bitch. Here I go, acting up already. All right. Oh, man. Ooh. All right. Breath work is something too, believe it or not. I know some of y'all might be like, what do you mean? We ain't dead, so we breathing, bitch. But it's like, no. We're talking about mindful. Mindfulness breath work. And there's different types of breath techniques to do different things. So I recommend Google this, because again, this is a part of the whole due diligence and empowering oneself. Google pranic breath technique, okay? And then if you're feeling guided to work with that one, do it. There's another one called, what is it? It's something fire, where you alternate with the nostrils, and you close one and you breathe it. Like, you may be feeling guided to different things, okay? But this is also going to help reset your energy, reset your chakras and all of that stuff, okay? So I just thought I would add that. Breath work is another one that I feel like is important to help regulate the nervous system and all of that, okay? All right. So with that being said, if you're feeling guided to do like a cleansing breath right now, if you want to just say, I affirm, if you want to repeat after me, but this is just going to be something very basic. We ain't got the fancy schmancy bells and whistles right now. We're going to roll with it, bitch. You are love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love. I am love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love. We are love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love. How are you love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love? How am I love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love? How are we love, loved, loving, lovable, worthy, and deserving of love? We are more than good enough. We always have been, and we always will be more than good enough.